Welcome to Mary Alice.
What did you do?
We are a Desperate Housewives recap podcast with me, Erin McGee.
And me, Jakub Tanzi. Two best friends breaking down each episode until we answer the ultimate question, Mary Alice, what did you do?
Unless, of course, we have finished season 1, in which case, insert new mystery here.
Yes, there's a lot to unpack on Wisteria Lane.
Content warnings can be found in the episode description.
So get comfortable and let's get into this week's episode. Hello!
Hello, babies. Hello, Desperados. How are we doing? We are at the finale.
It's finale day!
It's finale day! It's graduation day!
Yes! You may have already heard our initial thoughts because last week we posted a special watch-along episode, kind of like a DVD commentary that you can watch in time with the finale and hear our sort of live reactions. Obviously, we're going to do our usual deep dive today.
Yeah, because what if the watch-alongs are not your jam? But it was very exciting for us, particularly because we've not watched an episode of Desperate Housewives together since high school.
Woo!
Woo!
And we got quite emotional at one point.
I think, speak for yourself.
Speak for yourself. Either way, if you enjoyed that watch along, I don't know if you have watched it or listened to it or not, but if you enjoyed it, let us know, because we could do more of them going like in the future. I'm not saying every episode, but if it's something people are interested in, we can do them and just, simultaneously post them somewhere or something. Let us know.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun, especially for special episodes.
Yeah.
It gives a bit of, I don't know, this feels so silly, but I felt like we were watching it on the podcast, if that makes sense. Like I almost felt like, oh, we could be watching this with people we don't know. That's really exciting.
Yeah, it was an exciting thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch with us.
There's some this is a really good episode.
Yeah. Speaking of watch-alongs, you can also watch this episode because this is a video episode. Just, finale. It's a bit special. Put a bit more effort into it, I guess.
And what makes this episode extra special is both of us have lost our minds at different points of this morning before recording.
This has not been a chill morning.
This has not been one wonderful day, which is the title of the finale.
Indeed. It is, in fact, the afternoon now.
It is. So, yeah. I guess in terms of chat, we have to discuss that Jakub is a filthy liar. Because in episode 121, he said, and I quote, "We will never go to a concert together again." 3 days later, I get a text, "Let's go see Sophie in Glasgow."
Not to be confused with Susan's mum, Sophie. I was in fact talking about
Sophie Ellis Bextor.
Sophie Ellis Bextor.
And I went, "Oh, look who's asking to go to a concert with me now." I'm very excited for that, though.
I've seen her twice before, and I'm just as excited for this third time round.
Yes. I wonder if she'll recognize you.
She better, because I'm so tall and I'm always at the front blocking everyone's view.
Do you think she watches Desperate Housewives?
There's only one way to find. The last time I saw her, she met everyone afterwards who was at the concert. So, who knows?
I would die.
We should get modded merch before then and wear it there.
Perfect. I think we do need merch. I'm not saying to make people buy, but I think
for us personally,
we need personal merch. I want something where I go down the street and people to be like, "What is that?" That's marketing, baby. That's showbiz.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else you wanted to talk about from your week, or are you good?
Okay. The only other thing is, I don't think people know this. House buying is really hard. It's really hard. But what I am genuinely excited for content-wise is us season 2 with the new neighbors coming in and me being a new neighbor.
In your own lane.
I was thinking about this, right? On one hand, I am the person that's like, do not put me in the neighbor WhatsApp group. Do not do this. On the other hand, Jakub, you know that I'm running that like like the military.
We know you're here for everyone's business. You want to be in that WhatsApp group.
Yeah,
even
that's
if you're
true.
not responding, you're checking it out.
I'm checking it out. I want the gossip. I'm like, hey guys, couldn't help but notice that Deirdre didn't put her bins out last night. Everything okay at Deirdre?
Probably because Deirdre's dead.
Yeah. And then I'm like, hey guys, couldn't help but notice that Deirdre is dead. For more info and the autopsy report, come to my house between 3 and 4.
Do not go to Mike's house. You will not find information.
No, you will not.
As Erin said, house buying is very stressful. We're both in it. We're both working. We're busy people. And so we are going to be taking a short break between seasons. But rest assured, we will be back with season 2.
It will be a short break.
It will be a short break.
Because we've not taken a single break so far. We've not done a week off.
Exactly. We will, in the meantime, be posting a bonus sort of season 1 roundup discussion episode.
We have to talk about the husbands. We have to talk about the death count.
Yes.
We've got notes.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things we've been keeping track of. As we'll be tallying up our husband rankings. We'll need a recap of what happened on Julie the Vampire Slayer.
Exactly.
Among other things. So look forward to that.
Yeah.
It might not be next week, but it will be at some point to keep you going between the break.
To wet the palate.
To keep you hungry for more,
Yeah.
desperate for more. But yes, no, we'll build up our episode bank a little bit again so that we can not take breaks through season 2 as well with our posting.
Yeah, also, we'll get there, but season 2 is going to be difficult for us.
There's a lot to talk about that we don't know. Like, we thought talking about John the Child Gardener was hard. Ooh, baby.
Oh, baby. We'll get there.
We will get there, rest assured.
Also, I have to give a shout out to our Desperado Nicolette, who got in touch with us and said, hey, I think you need to know about this. Teri Hatcher, aka Susan Meyer, Andy Bowen, aka Julie the Vampire Slayer, and Emerson Tenney, aka Terry's real life daughter, have launched a Desperate Housewives recap podcast. I see this as an opportunity for collaboration. Teri, fellow colleague.
We're doing the same job now. We're
Yeah, I like to think, we're equals with Lois Lane. Also, it's so funny to me that they'll be recapping, knowing full well they will not be discussing Bongo, Julie the Vampire Slayer.
there's so much that we have to offer.
Yeah. I can't wait to hear all of the gossip.
I'm very curious to see what guests they'll get on.
Us. See you soon, Terry.
We're on our way.
We're on our way.
We're taking the initiative.
We've booked our flights. We're being
Proactive
proactive.
action.
We show up in our own merch that we've made ourselves and it's written in pen. We're like, do you want to follow our Patreon?
Terry, can you tag us in your polls? Can you imagine?
I completely can. Let's not do that.
Yeah. The last thing I want to say before we
Oh, I thought you meant in general.
ever in my whole life.
On the podcast. The rest is all me riffing.
Yeah, I'm going to play board games, but you can just take over, Erin.
Great.
No, the last thing that I want to say is thank you to you, because I just really, if you'll allow me a short moment to be cringe.
Oh no.
Because I genuinely am shocked that we've completed an entire season of this show.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact that I would not have enjoyed doing it with anyone else. And that so much of what this podcast has become is because of what you've contributed to it. Like our structure of following each of the women separately, your Instagram content, all of your descriptions, which I can't wait to read for the episodes every week. Just like all the listeners, I get excited to read that stuff too. And I just know that this is what it is so much because of you. And I love you. And I've had so much fun doing this. And just thank you.
I love working with you, and you work so hard on this. You really do. I don't think people know the amount of editing and effort Jakub puts in, and he's the one that keeps the standards high. He really pushes himself to a level of perfectionism with the audio and with the recordings that I would not have the energy for. I am quite happy to let good be good enough, and Jakub will go in and be like, no, this is going to be perfect. And it was so nice. And I do sincerely enjoy doing this with you. And thank goodness you moved back from Japan.
This is why.
No, I love you and thank you.
Okay, let's get into this episode.
Oh.
In this cold open, we get straight into the good stuff, starting to learn what Mary Alice did. We get a flashback to Mary Alice's past. That's right, we get Mary Alice face card. Or as she was known at the time, Angela Forrest.
A cool last name.
Living a quiet life of desperation. Because if there's one thing Desperate Housewives is going to do, it's make your life incomplete without a child.
That is so true. If there's one thing this show is going to do, it's be pro-life. It's be all women need children to be complete. And it's going to be, let's be questionable about ages of consent.
Yes. So Paul also has more hair pre all the stress of what Mary Alice did.
Paul's looking so good. Let's start there. But even the way she says, my name is Mary Alice Young.
Amazing.
Poetry. And I don't know if we've heard her really talk about herself before. It's kind of been, oh, girls, I didn't want you to have to deal with this, and this is sad. But since the pilot, it's never felt like she was personally talking about her own experience.
And it just reminds you that although she's dead, they're in this, universe, she in whatever afterlife she's in is very much aware and present.
Yeah, I think, we see her, she's very much a spectator throughout the series. And this feels like she's letting us in, and it's so good.
So we see Angela at the medical clinic where she worked with Felicia, where we see someone asking Felicia about the image in her calendar. It's Fairview, where her sister, our bestie Martha, lives.
Martha Huber!
Woo! We then see one day, or night rather, when up pops Deirdre, carrying a baby.
A little baby Dana.
And
Oh, sorry.
No, please.
Mary Alice's outfit is so 2004. The big chunky belt.
Oh, yeah.
Is so good.
Deirdre, however, is not looking so hot.
She's definitely in, I think it's fair to say, active addiction.
Mm-hmm.
Also, how close is Mary Alice with Deirdre that Deirdre knows where she lives?
That's a good point, actually. I never considered that. But she's turned up to Angela's home asking for money. She's clearly just wanting money for drugs, but Angela doesn't want to help her get high. Eventually, Deirdre gets so desperate that she offers to sell her baby.
Insane. And the delivery of it all, absolutely insane. Because I was watching this scene of two women and Paul in the background. And do you know how far we've come that Paul is the reasonable one in this scene?
Yeah, Paul's like, girl.
Paul's like, maybe we shouldn't sell babies.
Yeah, Paul's like, this is kind of wild. But Angela is sat.
But also,
she is listening.
I noticed, I tried to clock. Is Paul his name?
Oh.
Did Paul change his name too? I mean, we know they changed their surname and Mary Alice changed her first name.
That's a good point. What do you think Paul's original name would be?
He's got David vibes.
David and Dana.
David Forrest.
David, that works. I see it. That's a vision.
That's a vision.
So,
comment below what you think Paul's
original name
would be.
What's his government name?
Maybe it would be like another disciple name, like Joseph.
Yeah. So, Deirdre.
Wait. Let's check ourselves. Didn't Paul? No, it was Peter in the Bible who changed his name. Okay, ignore me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be fact checking any of that. So basically, Deirdre had overheard Angela previously talking about how she can't have her own child, which is why she thought to sell her baby, I guess. And she does not stutter when she offers up that baby.
Mm-hmm.
And so we cut to Angela at the clinic again, with Deirdre being brought in having overdosed.
Yeah.
Felicia is raging since the police who brought her in don't know where her baby is.
And we see straight away how protective Felicia is of this innocent being.
Yes. And Angela, overhearing all of this panic over the baby, looks down at the calendar showing the picture of Fairview, and we fade from Angela, or now Mary Alice, Paul, and the newly renamed Zach moving to their home in Wisteria Lane.
With the old man realtor, who I low-key wish was Edie.
Oh.
But Paul and Mary Alice do genuinely seem really happy. It's so sad to watch them happy.
Yeah, and Mary Alice says that they were happy and at peace until Deirdre turns up to their home again, and she is looking good, honey. She has had a glow up, a detoxification.
She's had her hair done.
Mike clearly did her well.
Oh.
And Mary Alice, as she says, was desperate once again.
What I think is interesting is that I'm pretty sure on multiple occasions where they're talking about her being desperate, she's holding up a big bin bag. And it's almost like a body bag, like a foreshadowing.
I see that, yeah. I didn't clock it at the time, but that makes sense.
And this is happening as well. I think it's important to note that this is happening when Zach is almost 4. Which means it's not a case of they've had this child for a couple of weeks. They've been living years with this as their baby.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to come back to this flashback. So stay tuned. But in the meantime, we don't get a full theme song.
No.
We just get a do-do-do-do-do.
Do-do-do.
No, that's it. That's all they give us.
Is it doobie-doobie-doo?
I think that's it, because we were watching in our watch along. If you didn't listen to that or watch that, we were so excited to sing along with the theme song, and then they don't play the full theme song. It was devastating.
So let's go into the Brie arc.
Yes.
Last episode, Rex had a heart attack, and we are seeing the aftermath of that at the local hospital. And each of our main women rock up to support Brie and be there for Brie. And we have the beautiful parallel of the women all alone in bed receiving the phone call about Rex, which is one of the first episodes we saw them all in bed by themselves. Mary Alice says that the rule is don't call neighbours in the middle of the night unless the news is bad, which I think still remains true. And then we get this beautiful, it feels very full circle moment where Mary Alice says over the years, they came because after all these years, they were no longer just neighbours.
Aww.
And yes, you have all been promoted. You are now friends.
You are now one of my elite employees.
That's what I was thinking. You've been promoted.
I also love that although Danielle continues to be an iconic unbothered queen, for one night only, she is bothered because it's her who calls all the women, right?
Yes, it is. And I think we said at the end of the episode, Danielle was clearly really worried about Brie's mental state.
Yeah.
And yeah, she called all of the people that also love Brie. And I love the women showing up in all these different types of pajamas. However, something I didn't clock in the watch along because we were getting too emotional. Gaby comforts Brie by saying, the doctors here are great. No, they are not. Gaby's only experience is that they killed Mama Solis and then they tried to kind of pay her off.
No shade to Dagny Carr / Nurse Heisel, but yeah, the doctors are not great.
The doctors are not great there. Oh my God. But what I think is very realistic is Brie doesn't want to be comforted by the women because the more they comfort her, the more upset and scared she's going to feel. So Susan does what is unironically, I think, her best trait, where she provides a distraction. She comes in and she talks about Mrs. Hooper's diary. And the women, and mainly Lynette, say, yep, that'll do it.
So later we see that Bree is in Rex's hospital room thinking about doing a spring clean soon. Rex remembers that she always finishes with her wedding silver.
Yeah.
Kind of flexing a little bit himself, like, see, I pay attention.
I notice things.
Bree elaborates about the fact that finishing with her wedding silver makes her think about her Aunt Fern. Throwback. I want to meet Aunt Fern.
I want to meet the person responsible for all of these floral names in the familial line.
Indeed. So basically the day they got married, Aunt Fern told Bree that even when times are bad, to remember that the best days are yet to come, and that cleaning her wedding silver reminds her of how right her Aunt Fern was. So Rex wants to say some stuff in case he doesn't make it through the operation, and he basically tries to apologize for everything, the infidelity, the sex stuff, etc. I don't think he should be apologizing for the latter, but that's neither here nor there. Bree says that essentially from here on out they're even, and Bree is confident that things will be fine because, as she said, the best is yet to come.
And it feels weirdly wrong in this scene, watching this really formal couple that we've come to know feel so natural. Like their kiss is so natural and they cuddle into each other. And I feel like I'm watching my parents. It's so intimate, and it's, I think, the most loving they've ever been, which is why it's so
I mean, it's almost like Rex's heart attack literally like gave them the shock to the system that they needed to sort of reset their dynamic a little bit, I think.
Yeah, his second heart attack. It only took 2 heart attacks. But I do think that this is the first time he's apologized. And this, I think, in this way. Yeah. Not for the affair. For how he's been with her.
Yeah.
And they call it even. This next scene, I have no notes about it. I've literally wrote, I hate this doctor, all caps, end scene.
Okay, shall I hop in?
Perhaps.
Okay, so Rex is speaking with his cardiologist. Bree is not there. His heart seems to be doing better now that he's been at the hospital a while, or at least his potassium levels have gone back down, or something, which his meds, basically whatever his meds were supposed to be doing, but that weren't doing because George has been switching them out. Now that he's no longer taking George's switched out meds, things are coming back to normal.
Well done, yes.
Yeah. And so the doctor tells him it must be something he's ingesting at home that's been causing the problems, and asks him who prepares his meals, and basically suggests that Bree has been doing this to him intentionally, sort of citing their marital problems and whatnot. Rex tells the doctor to sort of get out angrily, but clearly the doctor did get to him a little bit. He's thinking about it, and now he's going over his medical chart.
Yes, and I hate this doctor, but he does have a valid point where he was like, didn't she poison you like really recently?
Like with the onions from the pilot episode? Yeah. Do you remember that, Rex? Do you remember the pilot episode? That was Martha Huber's fault. She distracted Bree.
Exactly. Oh, Martha Huber has so many consequences in this show. So in our next scene, Rex is clearly experiencing, I would say, some chest pain. He looks uncomfortable. He takes out a pad and a pen, and he begins to write a note to Bree. Oh, my stomach just did something.
I can't with this. This is so upsetting.
He says, Bree, I forgive you.
I understand and I forgive you. And it's so devastating, but I think we got to go straight into the next scene to discuss this properly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going to just do that. I hate this scene. I don't want to talk about it.
I hate it.
I'm just going to get it over with. So we see Bree cleaning their aforementioned silverware, finishing up her spring clean, when she gets a call from the hospital letting her know that Rex passed away about 10 minutes prior. And she's clearly in shock right off the bat. She very politely thanks the hospital for letting her know before hanging up. And then she quietly and calmly, but I think still fighting off tears, finishes cleaning the silverware before having a complete breakdown at the dining table. I got so sad in the watch along watching this. I got sad rewatching it to take these notes, and I'm sad again now talking about it. It's so hard to watch.
And Marsha Cross, like, give her all of the awards.
Oh my God.
It's
truly.
an acting masterclass of a woman trying to keep it together and not being able to. And we're back at the Vanderkamp table and the play setting is back, but it's not. It's a tragedy.
It's just the spotlight on Bree.
It's so sad.
What's so sad though is that Rex went to his death believing that Bree killed him, and nothing can change that.
Well,
I think you're about to bring up what I'm about to bring up a bit.
I have to believe that much like Mary Alice being able to spectate and stay on and see in this world, that Rex is able to see the absolute devastation, and she's looking at the opposite empty chair, and I feel like he's there.
I do think that the one small comfort we have is that knowing that Mary Alice is a spectator, we can choose to believe that Rex does the same.
Yeah.
And in fact, there is one episode in a much later season that essentially confirms this.
Yes.
And so I believe that Rex in the afterlife sees the truth of what went on and will eventually see any potential consequences that George faces and will be satisfied in that, I guess.
I think, yeah, and you know, they had such a moment that Rex could have passed away with that tender love, and then the doctors tainted it.
Yeah.
And I do think, though, in some ways, it plays back into this theme. No matter how much Rex and Bree love each other, no matter how much they try, they're doomed. They were always doomed.
Because even though Bree doesn't find that note that Rex wrote in this episode, she will in the next season. And it's just so upsetting that, like, on both of their ends, they end their relationship without that nice feeling of the nice moment they had. And, it's just devastating.
Okay, we have to move on.
Yeah.
Gaby is visiting Carlos in jail to give him an outfit to wear to court. What's his hearing about? Hate crimes. Gaby is wearing a crime of an outfit herself.
Thank you. Oh my God. Yes. Please continue.
No, describe it.
Okay.
Gaby. Get
She's
in.
wearing what looks like a cross between a raincoat, a suit, and an umbrella. And I hate it so much.
The pattern, I would say, is chickenpox.
Yes.
I just really didn't like it. I think in the watch along we were both just like, ugh. So Carlos says, and rightly so, that he's glad that Gaby's there to support him because beating up a second gay guy, it looks bad.
Not ideal.
Gaby has gone there really, I think, to haggle with Carlos about the baby. And I would even say that her demands about raising the baby with him are not particularly extensive. She doesn't even mention changing nappies. Just something to think about. And then as she goes to walk away, Carlos says, "Aren't we breastfeeding?" And Gaby, we again. And Gaby says, "Honey, if you can swing that one, more power to you."
I think she's probably not even considered a lot of things like nappy changing. Like, I think she's probably still in denial about having this baby since, she's not showing many of the signs of pregnancy other than like throwing up.
Or actually, I'm wondering if she is, so she gets Carlos to everything that needs to be done at night, but everything else in her head would be done by a nanny?
Oh, maybe, yeah, that makes, I see that for Gaby for sure.
I just thought of that just now. Anywho.
Yeah. So we
this scene is insane!
This seems pretty crazy. So we then see Gaby on the stand defending Carlos by talking about how their shitty marriage led to a misunderstanding, that she was pretending to have an affair to make him jealous, but that Carlos is not a gay basher.
This marriage has caused at least 4 crimes.
The judge is speaking to the lawyers, convinced this isn't a hate crime at this point, basically.
He sounds kind of disappointed. He's like, I gotta be honest, I don't think we have a hate crime here.
Just the regular old kind. But in the background, John, the now adult gardener, enters, approaches Carlos and whispers to him that he beat up the wrong guy. And didn't Carlos wonder why his was the only lawn on the lane that needed to be mown 3 times a week before immediately turning around and leaving?
And what I didn't clock, because I was so aghast initially during the rewatch, completely just didn't see it because I was overwhelmed with our joyful watching experience. John is standing directly behind Justin. So, once Carlos gets up...
You didn't clock that in the watch along?
No, I was just like, oh, he looks violent. It didn't occur to me that Carlos was going towards what looked like Justin again, knowing he was gay, saying, I'm going to kill you.
Yes!
Which, by the way, is the entire point of this scene.
Yeah, someone in the background literally yells, he's doing it again!
Yeah, and I was like, oh, his reign of terror. And then slowly but surely was like, oh.
It's so funny because when Carlos turns around with this furious look, Justin is there looking so beat up and bruised.
I know. And he ends up on top of Justin again.
Just trying to lunge for John. Oh my God.
I think the reason why is because, genuinely, the reason I didn't notice is because when I'm watching something with someone, I was just having too much fun.
It was a very fun time.
And you know what else was quite fun? Our next scene.
Well, before we move on, I just want to very quickly ask, what do you think John's motivation is in this moment for telling Carlos now?
I think he wants Carlos to definitely go to jail for a long period of time so that Gaby will need to be financially dependent on him so he will be able to raise the baby with her.
I absolutely see that. Good. Now we're going to get a little tease of season 2. Ooh, Applewhite's baby, new neighbor on the lane. It did not fit in with any of the main girls' arcs, so here we are.
Well, this is her being acknowledged as a new main girl, I guess.
Yeah, she'll have her own arc.
Welcome to the lane, our new neighbours moving into the Mullins house, the Applewhites. Edie comes over to the house, saying she sold the house over the phone. I wish it were that easy.
Yeah, I mean, my solicitor, after a misunderstanding from a question I emailed them, called me to very intensely caution against me doing the same. And I'm like, no, I wasn't suggesting I was going to buy a place without viewing it. That my solicitor was like, don't do it. And I was like, I wasn't going to.
I think a lot of people in Edinburgh do. I think a lot of parents buy property for their children without seeing it. And the phrase that Edie uses is the sight unseen, which is a phrase that I only ever hear now on the TV show Love is Blind. So I was very excited. Edie looks absolutely incredible here. This is my outfit of the week.
Of course, it's the big yellow power dress, which is like huge power business collar, but sleeveless.
The hair. She looks like a lemon drop.
She does.
So, we meet Betty's son, Matthew, who seems very suspicious straight out of the gate. He is closing the door, and it feels very much like they're trying to contain something in the house. There's a secret contained inside. Very
much like Rory not letting me in the other day because you were home and just not speaking to me.
Let's talk about it. I admitted to Jakub. Jakub came because he left his SSD here. Because this is his second home. And he said, oh, could I come and pick it up? Are you home? And I said, no, but Rory is. Well, listeners, I was in fact home. I was crying on the couch.
Very quietly. I didn't hear a thing.
Very quietly. Stealth crying. So Jakub came in and Rory went to hand over the SSD and was kind of guarding so that Jakub wouldn't see me on the couch. And then Jakub said, can I use the bathroom? And Rory said, of course. So then for some reason, I put the blanket over my head. It was just there like... vulnerable. But I knew I couldn't talk to you.
But anyway, same energy in this scene.
Same energy. Betty is very dismissive, I would say, and quite private. It's very polite, but quite cold. Edie is very clearly suspicious of the behaviour, and Matthew remarks that people are very friendly in the neighborhood, but he is saying it like that could be a bad thing.
Like, yeah, it's like they're showing concern over how friendly people are in the neighborhood.
To which I say, don't worry, the main girls aren't.
The only people you have to worry about is like Ida Greenberg, Bob Fisk, you know.
E.G. and Mike, but nothing will come of it.
Exactly. Let him in. Let him wander around. He won't spot anything.
He will make no connections. He'll be like, what kind of plumbing pipes do you have?
There's also a great quote, which I think might be my quote of the week, when Betty's son refers to Edie as ma'am. And she's like, oh, please, ma'am's for middle-aged women. And then she looks over the hedge and points to Susan, who's taking out the trash. Like her.
Edie just wants everybody to know that the rivalry's back on.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that's the Applewhites. We will get back to them in season 2, baby.
Yes.
For now, we're going to talk about Lynette. I really enjoyed this episode for Lynette, actually. Not in terms of like, this is all good stuff happening, but more in terms of, well, we'll have to talk about it at the end of her arc, but it's like...
the potential.
I just think it was needed. I think what happens
Yes.
here, regardless of the motivations and stuff, was really needed to sort of satisfy her personal arc through this whole season.
Yes.
So Lynette and the kids are walking through an arcade/restaurant kind of place in the middle of the day.
I was wondering if it was the same one from the pilot where Rex was poisoned.
I did think about that, but it didn't feel Western themed enough.
Maybe that was a different room. How many of these restaurants are in Fairview? They only have one therapist.
It would have been 2 if Martha wasn't killed, but anyway. So when they're walking through, when Lynette spots Tom playing air hockey with a group of children instead of working.
I think you're wrong there. I've written Tom is hanging out with like-minded individuals.
Oh my God. I just wrote, he's giving manic.
It's very manic. But he's playing air hockey, which is a game I do actually really love.
So this could be you.
This could be me.
When Lynette asks why he isn't at work, he very bluntly explains that he quit after finding out Lynette meddled in his professional life to prevent him moving up in the company, and he is not ready to talk about it. Lynette does try to push him a little, but he turns very serious,
Yes.
telling her to go home before he says something he regrets. And I respect that, because I think I'm the same. When I'm angry at someone, I don't want to talk until I've had the chance to process my feelings, because otherwise I will not be able to verbalize my thoughts even to myself, let alone to the other person, and the anger will take over and I will say stupid stuff just to hurt the other person. So why would I put myself in that position?
I think that it's good that he said, just get out of here, because I don't want to be angry with you. I think that's all fine. Poor Kevin.
Oh, then the kid.
He's like, I'm going to annihilate you, Kevin.
He's the real victim in this situation.
He is. I think so. Poor Kevin.
Yeah. Okay. And let's move on to our second and final Lynette scene of the episode.
Tom finally comes home and he has an idea. And his idea is that he's never going back to work. He's going to take a break. And Lynette says, I think you should have a break. He's saying, no. My idea of a break is to be a stay-at-home dad. And you go back to work.
And what are your thoughts on that, Erin?
Being a stay-at-home parent is not a break. It is a full-time job. However, I do want to see Lynette back at work.
Yeah, I think that I do like this direction that we went, and that this went. And Lynette's plotline for the whole season has been struggling with being a stay-at-home mom. And the only way that we could satisfyingly conclude her arc
Yes.
and make it feel like the story has progressed is that basically something has to change. And this feels like the change we needed.
Yes.
And I'm excited to explore that role reversal in the next season.
Me too. It will be exciting to see Lynette in her element. And returning to something that we know she's supposed to be very good at. But now she has this time, these other responsibilities that she didn't have when she was first in the marketing game.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see for sure. When Tom first comes home, Lynette sort of weakly tries to defend herself, but ultimately knows that she was in the wrong and doesn't know what to say.
Yeah.
Tom suggests an apology, and she does apologize, but then immediately goes back to defending herself. But in any case, Tom eventually tells her that, no, you were right because that promotion would have killed me. And that's how he sort of got into this conclusion. And I don't like, obviously, that he's very much like, I've decided this for our lives, because that's a common theme with Tom. But I also think in this particular case, it's like, I think given the kind of revelation about Lynette meddling and stuff, he's still in that angry mindset. And I feel like this makes sense for the mindset he's in and stuff. So I basically what I'm trying to say is that Tom did go about this wrong, but Lynette's also done wrong. And it feels like a big mashup of who's right and wrong in this situation. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I think if this were an Am I the Asshole Reddit thread,
it would be a split opinion.
It would be everybody sucks here.
Yes, yeah.
That would be the verdict.
Yeah, Tom's not making this decision in Lynette's interest, but it is a fact that she does miss being in the business game and that she is struggling at home and that it would be a good change for her.
I wish that this didn't have to happen because of the crisis. I wish that this had been the natural conclusion Tom came to mid-season.
Yeah, but alas.
I just really can't get over him thinking that being a stay-at-home parent is a break. It just shows that no matter how much throughout the season Lynette has tried to explain and reiterate to him that he has absolutely no respect for the home work that she has been doing.
Yeah. I laughed at one point when Lynette is a bit resistant at one point, saying that she loves being a stay-at-home mom and that she hasn't complained ... the entire time.
Mm-hmm. She has only stolen another child's ADHD medication once.
It was one time.
It was literally one time.
I think with Lynette's expression at the end of the scene, I think she does kind of come around to it. She's kind of like, okay, let me think about this actually.
No, she's literally like, mission failed successfully.
Very bad.
And again, I think it's important that the last episode we saw her speak to, is it Wendy? Who's the woman with the short hair?
Val? No. But I know what you mean. Yeah.
Let's give her a new name. Claudia, right?
Claudia.
She's got a Claudia vibe. It was like, you were good at this. Mm-hmm. You were made for this. We would all take you back in a heartbeat.
And even like when there was that episode when Tom had his business people around and Lynette was cutting in with ideas and stuff because she's good at it. So, yeah.
The issue is going to be, and this is not me trying to do any spoilers of where we're going. This is the natural question that comes. Is Tom better suited to stay at home because Lynette is better in the boardroom? Or is Tom not good at either of them?
I think I have my safe bet on that one. I do think Lynette will be better at staying at home, but I don't think Tom is bad at being a stay-at-home dad once he sort of gets into the swing of it. But I also don't really remember that very well, so we'll see. I remember more of where Lynette's storyline goes in the business world, so it will be interesting to see how Tom gets on, because I genuinely don't remember.
Because one thing about us is we'll get there.
We will. It's time for the meat of the episode. It's Susan, it's Zach, it's Paul / David now, it's Felicia, it's Deirdre / Angela. No, Deirdre and Mary Ellen
Not so
/
easy,
Angela.
is it?
Let's get into it. So,
Let's get into it.
all right, so Zach, believing that Paul has willfully left him in the care of Felicia after suddenly taking off without saying goodbye, has gone back to his home in an angry fit, sort of followed by Felicia, who's just wants to take care of him. And I really believe that because of the flashback we saw at the beginning of the episode.
It's interesting that she's dressed so much more motherly these days.
I was about to say, Zach is on mother number 4 now after Deirdre, Angela / Mary Alice. Bree is a kind of motherly figure in the early season, and now Felicia. So Felicia tells Zach that Paul isn't coming back, but it's all going to be okay because she is going to make him some pudding.
Let's go home. I'm going to make you some pudding.
And she starts to go home, but Zach follows her down the stairs with a hockey stick and attacks her, demanding to know what she did to his dad.
Is it a hockey stick?
Yeah.
I thought it was a shovel. And I've written in my notes, why are they keeping a shovel upstairs?
Why do we struggle so much to keep track with the assault weapons? Because last time when Mike attacked Paul, I thought it was a shovel, and you were like, no, he was just getting punched.
Because I remember the watch along, you were like, this is where we got the shovel from. So I think I just assumed.
No, it was a punch in the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
But this is what I mean. We would be awful, for two people that love board games, awful at Cluedo, because we never get the murder weapon.
Yes.
Susan is phoning Mike, but he is not picking up. She's saying, I found Mrs. Hooper's journal and I know all about the blackmail, so love you, bye. And I really, really like Susan continuously getting more and more manic as these phone calls progress.
Yeah, it's like a montage of her messages that she's leaving.
And what I like the most is that she always ends it with love you, even though she's furious.
Even if it's a love you.
A reluctant love you is still a love you. Yeah, I liked it. So basically, we've seen that Susan is the type of person to call 100 times before. This is not even the first 100 times she's called Mike in a row. So Mike is very understanding when he eventually picks up. And I think that's important. I do. I think it's a good sign for them. He is honest about Felicia giving him Martha's journal. But Susan wants to go to the police. Which feels weird when she knows that her husband killed a member of the police.
Yeah.
Her husband. Oh, wow.
Yeah, well, you know. As far as we're concerned, when we talk about the husband.
You know. But basically, why does Mike not want to go to the police? Because Paul is in the backseat tied up.
With and some lovely duct tape.
Oh, he looks so resigned. He's just basically like, yeah, I'm here.
I think he's thinking. He's busy. He knows he's not going to physically be able to get out of the situation, so he's trying to think his way out of it in this quiet time.
Yeah, he's taking some time to recuperate.
Yeah, but I think even though Mike does say, oh yeah, we'll take it to the police when I get back home tonight. Clearly lying, though.
Yeah. It's like he's started to be honest, but only slightly.
Now, this next scene is very joyful.
Well, I disagree.
Okay, well, we'll get there. So, Julie is being picked up by Carl for the weekend and reminds Susan to feed Bongo, which is interesting because, as is canonically known, Bongo was murdered by Bob Fisk and is taxidermied in his basement. So what's up with that?
I know exactly what's up with that. Don't worry, I have the solution.
I'm so excited to see if we have the same bullshit notes on this. We will see though. So Carl wants a word with Susan, possibly having some leftover feelings of jealousy. And it's basically talking about being unsure of having Mike around Julie all the time and stuff by way of moving in together. Susan defends him, but then Julie ultimately cuts in with a, Mike's cool, dad. Don't mess this up.
Yes.
I can't argue with that.
It's really nice to see for once Susan finally being over Carl. And we know she's over Carl because she isn't rising at his bait at all anymore.
Yes. She's so chill.
Yeah.
Susan goes across the street and a dog that looks like Bongo is there, which doesn't make sense.
Would you like to know my theory?
I would.
Okay.
I'm sad.
Julie, the vampire slayer, can see Bongo's ghost. And as her mother, so can Susan. But when we see Bongo, Zach doesn't interact with Bongo in any way because they cannot see his spirit. Zach doesn't realize that Bongo is there because it's Bongo's ghost, which is haunting the house. And Bongo can't leave the house because his spirit is tied to the house.
And Mike is abandoning him to haunt that house lonely forever?
Yes.
Wild.
But I don't think, because since Julie is a slayer and Susan is the mother of a slayer, I don't know if Mike can see Bongo.
Right. I had a different theory, but we'll get to it later. But I like yours more, so I think we are going to go with that.
Well, it's crucial to me that Zach does not address Bongo because it makes sense to me that Zach cannot see dog ghosts.
Yeah. And yes, on that minor note, Zach is also there with a gun.
Oh, yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
As this is the final scene of the episode, of the season with Julie, I just wanted to sort of a final theorization moment about the Vampire Slayer arc.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I would love that.
Now, I think having read through more of Martha's journals, Julie has put the pieces together, whether she's told Susan or not about it, and realized that she's out of her depth with these current big bads.
Yes.
So she's going to Carl's where she has easier access to training. It's closer to the Watcher headquarters.
Yes.
She's going to beef up for next season. That's what I think.
So Julie the Vampire Slayer is currently taking steroids in between seasons. So she's going to come back super hedge.
Swole as fuck.
Our next scene, Zach is holding Susan hostage. And I really like this scene for Susan because one of the things I always give to Susan, even when I'm kind of being hard on her, is that she's one of the more intelligent people on the line. And this is told to us very easily by her looking around, and we can tell as viewers that she is sizing up various murder weapons she could use on Zach, essentially. I think it's also interesting that she goes to get a glass of water, as she says, and Zach doesn't let her up, so he knows exactly what's going on. But little Edie is knocking on the door. Susan obviously is ignoring Edie at the door because she is being held hostage. But Edie can see her inside. And she's saying, at least have the courtesy to hide. Eventually, Edie is bashing so hard on the door because she wanted to see Mike. And she wanted to warn Mike and subsequently Susan that Felicia Tillman was attacked. Edie even says when Susan's finally allowed by Zach to the door that she is genuinely scared and asks to come inside. She wants company. And Susan is trying to mouth to her while there is a gun at her back and warn her about Zach. But when Edie isn't getting it, she I can't remember what Edie says.
She says, stick it up my what?
And eventually Susan gives up and says, Edie, get out of here.
Here's what I think. I think that the gun is irrelevant. I think if Susan was not held at gunpoint, she still wouldn't let Edie in because she's been so horrible to her in the late season.
No, I think Susan would have. I really do. I think that this moment is, again, a parallel because wasn't there a scene where Paul had a gun at Zach's back?
Yeah, but that was with like Bree at the door and
yeah, this is like another version of that.
Yeah.
Susan wanted to warn Edie, but obviously she can't, so she has to push her away. Edie calls her a bitch.
Naturally.
And leaves. Zach says he is going to kill Mr. Delfino. To which I say, if you're going to kill someone, use their full name.
Well, he's going to do it, he specifically says, because he knows that Mike took his dad away to kill him, which is obviously going to be news to Susan, who thinks he's at a plumbing job.
Which also, I would argue again, not to defend Zach, but it's true.
It is true. I'm not saying Zach's wrong. Well, I'm not. Yeah. He is wrong for wanting to try and kill someone, just to clarify.
I'm so glad that you're the one recapping the next scene, because this is one that I told you earlier that is in my notes. It's just, this entire scene is insane.
I don't know how much I put, but anyway, Mike drives Paul out to ... where? The desert? It looks like it, but he said to Susan he'd be back that night. He can't have gone that far, but also it's the middle of the day, so it must be fairly isolated for him to feel safe trying to shoot someone there. I'm very confused about where they are.
Also, how does he just know this would be a good place to kill someone?
Maybe it's not, and it's just a continuation of Mike being bad at this kind of thing.
Well, I did wonder if this was a giant children's play park and this is a giant sand pit.
Maybe. I'd love that as a kid. That'd be so fun.
Yeah, and just be like, somebody's getting murdered next to me.
Yeah. As soon as Mike takes the duct tape off of Paul's mouth, I think it's clear he's been trying to think about what to say to save his own skin, because he immediately launches into speaking. He's mostly, I think, just confused as he doesn't know how or why Mike knew Martha or why he's doing this, claiming that Martha destroyed lives. And basically, I think he just wants to find out why Mike is trying to kill him.
Which I think is fair.
I think that's valid.
But also, it does feel very... So, rewatching this scene in particular, even though it's insane, feels very like Mufasa and Scar. It feels quite epic to me. But also, these men are so similar. These are both incredibly loyal men who are doing bad things because they think in some way they are honoring a woman they love.
Bad things for noble reasons.
Yes. And it's the definition of cool motive, still murder.
Yeah.
Our next scene. Sorry, it's so funny. It shouldn't be, but it's so funny. Zach still has Susan hostage, and Susan's saying, let me get you a drink, Zach. And she's going, I know about Dana. And Zach says, how stupid are you? I'm Dana. And he is clearly not in his right mind, but he is processing something that is incredibly traumatic for anyone to deal with. Never mind a teenager. Never mind a teenager who's grieving. Never mind a teenager who is also drugged. Never mind a teenager who's also suffering mental problems. Never mind a teenager who has also just had another parent abandon him. Mm-hmm. He's processing that he feels everybody in his life has consistently lied to him. And he can't trust anyone. And even when Susan is saying anything, he's saying, I can't believe you. How am I supposed to believe you? You're going to lie too. And Susan's doing a good job at trying to de-escalate the situation. But I understand why Zach doesn't want to hear it.
Yeah. He's done with talking. I just feel so bad for this boy. He needs so much therapy.
I think, he needs so much therapy. He needs so much love. He has had, in a very short period of time, even a year, a life's worth of trauma.
Oh, yeah, big time. So we're back in the giant children's sandpit with Paul and Mike. Paul.
Sorry.
That's fine. Mike is marching Paul across the land, I guess. And Paul is accusing Mike of stalling because he's actually not prepared to kill anyone. But then Mike reveals that he has, in fact, killed before. So Paul says, oh.
Love. And there's one thing about Paul. He changes tactic based on the information at his disposal. Paul and Susan are quite similar as well, and they're both very intelligent people. I'm saying that with Paul and Susan now because, of course, Mike is an Egypt.
Yes, so anyone by comparison.
I love that Paul says, can you at least tell me why I'm being murdered?
Yes, he basically demands an explanation, and Mike throws down a picture of himself with Deirdre, the one we've seen before, and I swear to God, Paul almost looks like he's accepting his fate in this moment.
Yeah.
Clearly, he's racked with guilt over what Mary Alice did. And he spent so much of his life covering that up. And that's clearly taken its toll on him. And it's almost like he's like, fair. But he does And now, explain. He says it's complicated, but with this, we transition into another flashback of what Paul tells Mike, finally revealing to us the answer of our most sought after question.
Yes.
Yes.
What Mary Alice did. So basically, Deirdre returns to the young house and she explains that her father, Bossman Noah, had enough money that she could investigate and find Zaina. She's cleaned up her act, she's got herself together, and she wants her baby back.
Yeah. Before she comes to the door, Mary Alice is making like a little snack for Zach of carrots, and the way she is like attacking the cutting board with that knife, it's like bang, bang, bang. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. So they invite Deirdre in to talk about the situation. And essentially, Mary Alice doesn't want to give the baby back.
Which I think they're both fair in this moment because Angela Mary Alice has raised Zach for years. So that's her son as far as she's concerned. While biologically it is Deirdre's son. So neither of them are in the wrong, I feel, in their motivations.
Well, from Deirdre's perspective, they took advantage of her when she was vulnerable.
Yeah.
And from Mary Alice and Paul's perspective, she took advantage of them when they were vulnerable.
Yeah. Oh, I've not thought of that before. That's interesting.
Well, she played on their insecurity of not being able to have children of their own.
Yes.
So again, it's everybody sucks here. And that's what I love about this show. It's complicated. It's really complicated. And there is no hero and there is no villain in this moment.
In this moment.
The next thing we see, if I am correct, Jakub, please feel free to jump in. Deirdre decides to go and attack Paul.
So what happens is that Deirdre tries to march upstairs to go get her son back. Paul grabs her and throws her down to get her away from Zach. So in that moment, now that she's been physically assaulted, she picks up, I think it's a fire poker? Yeah. And smacks Paul with it. So Paul's down.
And he's got the blood rushing down the side. And again, Mary Alice decides to do a little stabby stab.
Yeah, Deirdre tries to charge once again for the stairs to get Zach. Mary Alice panics. The knife is right there. I don't think she makes any kind of conscious decision. I think she just does it. She picks up the knife and it's almost as if Deirdre walks into it because she picks up the knife so suddenly at the last second.
It feels like Mary Alice picking up the knife is a defensive maneuver.
Yeah.
But because Deirdre's already on the attack,
yeah,
I'm not victim blaming and saying that Deirdre stabbed herself.
No.
I'm just saying that, Mary Alice didn't intend to kill Deirdre in this moment.
Yes.
And I think her protective instincts over what she thought she was doing, protecting Zach and protecting her husband from someone who is violent, meant she picked up a weapon. And Deirdre collapses and it's not looking great. Paul gets up and says,
Mary Alice, what did you do?
Chills.
We did not expect that. It was iconic. In the watch along, we lost our damn minds.
We forgot. And that, again, the best thing about doing this show with you is that you and I are both equally forgetful about things like this.
Same way.
The things we do remember, so intense on.
We then see Mary Alice empty Zach's toy chest. And Zach is awake in bed at this point, like spooked by the sounds from downstairs. So Mary Alice is telling him not to worry, even though she's clearly worried. And then as her and Paul discuss hiding the body under the pool with the concrete being poured the next day, Zach comes downstairs and sees the body and the blood, which is the memory that kept coming back to him in the more recent days that we've seen, leading him to believe that he killed his baby sister.
And I might have flagged this in the watch along, I can't remember, but Mary Alice is very Brie-like in this moment.
Yes.
She feels calculating and logical.
Yeah, it takes her a minute to get there because
Yeah.
at first when she stabs her, Deirdre's like just kind of moaning on the ground in pain, and Paul and Mary Alice are both just staring at her in full shock, not knowing what to do. So it takes her a second, but absolutely she gets to that Brie-like point.
And we learned something that I think we've probably suspected for a while now. Paul is such a well-written character. And it for me, even when suspicious, he never felt evil to me.
Mm-hmm.
So we've learned really that the main person who committed this murder was Mary Alice.
Yeah, which is why it's Mary Alice who had the blackmail note addressed to her, and all of that came down. And Paul has just been
a man in love.
One lie after another trying to protect his wife.
Exactly. You make one bad choice, and as a result, you have to make another bad choice.
Yep, you said that before about Paul, and this is where it all stems from.
It's just this horrific ripple effect. And Mike, at the end of this flashback, seeing a man, and I think, not to give him too much credit, but seeing an equal of, do you know, I made a really bad choice and then had to make another really bad choice and then had to make another really bad choice.
The girls who get it.
I almost feel like this show calls back to itself consistently and throughout episodes as well. And I feel like this is their equivalent of Brie and Rex, will we just call it even?
Yeah, but in a very masculine way. They don't actually verbalize anything. Mm-mm. Not a single word is said. Mike just walks away quietly.
And Paul is crying in the sandpit.
Yes, in the sandpit.
And that in itself is so epic and so iconic that by the time we get to the final scene, the Mary Alice voiceover, I'm almost underwhelmed.
Crazy.
You know what I mean?
I think so. It's, oh my God, it's just so like exploding with answers that it leaves you kind of like not even knowing what to feel or think.
Yeah, but it does enough of giving you the pieces of the puzzle without what I think a lot of TV shows do now, which is throw in a complete wild aspect.
Yeah, everything clearly fits. It's not like they've held everything back and it's like, okay, here's the bullshit we came up with at the end.
Nothing has also been added in as an extra form of shock value.
Yes.
Everything that we find in this scene, we as viewers at some point, and maybe we've gone back on it, but have at some point suspected.
Yeah, and been sort of led to.
And that's writing. That's some good writing.
Hell yeah. And then we get into our final scene of this season. And I'm just going to read out this Mary Alice voiceover.
Oh, I'm so ready.
So she says, "It's an odd thing to look back on the world, to watch those I left behind, each in their own way, so brave, so determined, and so very desperate." And then Mary Alice goes into talking about each lady and what they're desperate for. So let's break it down. We see Lynette looking at her kids when she says, "Desperate to venture out, but afraid of what she'll miss when she goes."
Yeah.
We see Gaby sitting alone at home in the dark now that Carlos is in jail. And she says, desperate to get everything she wants, even when she's not exactly sure what that is. I thought that was a very fitting one because we've seen Gaby flip-flop so much about Carlos and John, at times seeming like she really wanted to be with John and others seeming like it was nothing to her. And I think it all just comes down to Gaby doesn't know what she wants.
Yeah. But she knows that she wants what she wants, if that makes sense. She will do anything to get what she wants. The problem is that she doesn't know what she wants.
Yes, exactly.
Does that make sense?
It does. It does. Yeah. We see Brie looking devastated, I think still at the dining table in the middle of the night.
Still the restaurant.
Yeah. And Mary Alice says, desperate for life to be perfect again, although she realizes it never really was. And because Rex's death has snapped her out of the detergent commercial tinted glasses view of the world she had, which is just so upsetting.
I do think there is... sorry, I upset myself.
Oh, no.
I do think that we see in the next 7 seasons of this show that there is a piece of Brie still at this dining table.
Yeah.
We really feel that,
We do.
I think.
And then Susan's still at gunpoint in Mike's home. Mary Alice says, desperate for a better future if she can find a way to escape her past. Mm-hmm. And then we see a photo of all the women, including Mary Alice, all together, cuddling, so happy.
It's the start of the episode as well. It's the first shot.
Yeah. And Mary Alice says, I not only watch, I cheer them on. These amazing women, I hope so much they'll find what they're looking for. But I know not all of them will. Sadly, that's just not the way life works. Not everyone gets a happy ending. And with that, we see Mike come home and walk inside where we know Zach is waiting to kill him. And that is a season wrap, baby.
Doobie doobie doo doo doo
Do
doo.
do 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 do.
In terms of Desperate Housewives and the scale of this show and how much happens, this is quite an understated cliffhanger for the show.
Which is crazy.
I know.
But I guess it's good to, get up the ante as you go, if that makes sense.
Yeah. The acting in this finale is outstanding across the board from everyone.
Second to none.
It's like everybody, all the actors on set went, this is the one. Maybe Emmy nomination season was coming up or something. They were like, we have to lock in.
Oh, it was just unbelievable. I'm obsessed. It's so incredible.
It's so good. It's so good. So our main questions for next season, I would say, are being set up as, who is Betty Applewhite? And
what's her deal?
What's her deal? What's going on the line? 2, is Paul ever going to come back? Is Paul dead?
Well, he's not dead.
But, I mean, well, he's alone in the middle of the desert, tied up.
Sure.
I can't imagine that he can walk out of there.
I'm sure one of the parents that's supervising their kids will see him eventually.
That's true. Or like, is there like a park? Is there like a lifeguard?
In case you're drowning in the sand pit.
If you're thinking, sand, why have they not made any jokes about Dune? Know that in the watch along, that did come up. Zendaya's getting him out of there. What other
Next question is, how is Tom going to fare as a stay-at-home dad and vice versa with Lynette?
Yes.
Can't wait for that. I cannot wait.
What is Gaby as a single mother going to look like?
Yeah.
And will we find out for definite who the father of the baby is? Will Carlos stay married to her, knowing that she has had an affair and the baby might not even be his?
How long will Carlos be in jail? Will it be all season?
Will Carlos commit another hate crime while he's
prison?
There? In prison.
Okay. Shall we get to Monster of the Week?
Oh, yeah.
Can I start?
Yes, please.
So this is where our theories differed. I said my Monster of the Week is Bongo because he must be a zombie / hellhound because, as we know, he's taxidermied in Bob Fisk's basement and
we're
therefore
so close.
a literal monster.
You know what? We're so close. I feel I will take that. I, however, do feel like even when I watched the scene, when we were recapping the scene with E.G. there, E.G. and Bongo got along great. I'm like, why didn't Bongo go outside to get E.G. and run through there? It's because he can't, because he's trapped in the house. His spirit is trapped in the house.
I like your theory more, though. We're going with that in terms of our headcanon for future comedic moments. That's what we're doing.
Yeah. My monster of the week was Felicia's flashback wig.
The Lisa Rinna wig. Incredible.
I did actually debate but like in a fun way. I love her. But Mary Alice is the monster of the week. As like
for murdering. That's fair. That would be fair.
It wasn't great, but no, I think it is Felicia's wig.
Fair. Worst neighbor. I put This is kind of a boring answer, but it's all I could think of really was Zach
Yeah.
because he did attack his neighbors. So, that's bad neighbor energy.
He was attacking and
Yeah.
violent to two neighbors in one episode.
Yeah. Zach is a victim in a lot of ways, but that can't justify attacking people physically. So
Yeah, it's not good.
No.
I think that other than that, everyone's like, particularly in the beginning with Brie, the gals are kind of good neighbors this
It's
episode.
good neighbor energy.
Edie's good neighbor for
It's
going
because
to try
all
and
the
warn
other
Susan.
neighbors have moved out and they've not met Betty yet, so they've not got anyone to be rude and horrible to.
Wow,
Yeah.
we will get there. Will we talk about the husbands?
Let's talk about the husbands. Let's start with Rex.
R.I.P.
I put 7 because
It rhymes with heaven.
in his final episode, he did try his
Yeah.
best to show that he cares for Brie, and even after thinking Brie killed him, he still forgave her. And he's literally being murdered. Let's cut him some slack.
I think I would actually give him an 8.
I'm agreeable with 8.
I think with the information he was given by the doctor, as much as I would love to say he should trust Brie, I get why he doesn't. And I think in the last moments thinking Brie has murdered him to still want to go, I want to give her something that lets her know that I understand, I get it, and I forgive her,
Yeah.
is kind of a grace, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
R.I.P. Rex. We will not be rating Rex as ghosts in season 2.
Yeah. So for Tom, I think he was the hardest to place, but I ultimately settled on 5.
Yeah.
Because I think it was so messy in both directions, positive and negative, that I just kind of averaged out in the middle. Like his
Yeah.
decision is for the best and needed for Lynette badly, but it's also like not for the right motivations.
Mm-hmm.
But then Lynette was also in the wrong. Yeah, I just middled it out in the end.
Oh.
Mike?
Again, this is hard because in this season, he is acting as the partner of 2 different women.
But in this episode.
But I mean, in this episode, what he's being to Deirdre is very different to what he's being with Susan.
I guess
He's
I was
still lying to Susan.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about it from the Susan Mike dynamic.
Yeah.
So I put 2 for continuing to lie and potentially murder someone, especially after the no guns in the house chat.
Yes, I think that's fair.
And Carlos, I put 3 because last week we gave him 2 for 2 hate crimes, and this time he seemingly attempted a 3rd. So here we are.
+1 to the hate crime count.
Do we agree with 3?
I think that's good.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think that's good.
No. So we will be totaling up our husband rankings and everything to go into our bonus season 1 recap episode. So keep an eye out for that probably in like 2 weeks' time-ish.
Yeah, it will depend on both of our mental states.
Yes.
I have a couple bits of trivia for you. That I want to
go for
say
it, go for
for
it.
the finale specifically, if that's okay. We haven't done it in a while.
Do it.
The cliffhanger. This is all from Desperate Housewives fandom, by the way, which I love. It's really chef's kiss. So, the cliffhanger of this episode was well received by critics and audiences and praised for not including a cliched gunshot sound effect.
Nice.
Coincidentally, Mark Cherry, the creator of the show, debated for a while on whether to include a gunshot, but decided against it. The opening credits were cut for time, as
fair.
it was in similar fashion for the pilot episode.
Oh, that's interesting. Little bookend.
ABC accidentally leaked on their website a photo of a scene that was cut out of the season finale.
Oh. This
photo revealed the Applewhite's secret.
That's crazy. I was going to ask you, do you think they had a plan for the Applewhite secret when they cast them, or they just thought, we need a new neighbor and we'll work out a plot for them next season? Well, I guess they had it worked out. Jesus.
The network had the photo immediately pulled.
That's crazy. At least in like 2004 or 5, you wouldn't be able to just Google that leaked photo as easily once it was pulled, you know?
Yeah.
That's cool.
My last one I have, just a little one. The episode is ranked number 55 in TV Guide's 100 best TV episodes of all time.
Hell yes.
Hell yes.
And were the other 54 also Desperate Housewives episodes?
Yeah, they were just various Desperate Housewives episodes.
All the Martha episodes. R.I.P. Martha.
Oh.
Well, that has been a whole season.
That's been a whole season. What's our cliffhanger?
Will Jakub get a flat?
Will Erin's mortgage go through? Will Erin ever go blonde?
5,000 followers. That's what we're waiting for. Let's make it happen, people.
Will Teri Hatcher ask for a collab? We have been Mary Alice, What Did You Do? And Desperados, that is what Mary Alice did.
Thank you for coming on this journey with us.
Yes.
We'll see you next time.
We love you so much.
And of course, as always,
forevermore,
stay desperate.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode. Be sure to check out our Instagram for visuals, behind the scenes content, and more.
You can find us by searching for Modded, that's MEWDYD.
Or just search for Mary Alice, What Did You Do?
This podcast is brought to you entirely by us, Erin McGee
And Jakub Tanzi. If you're enjoying the show, don't forget to leave us a review. It really helps us out.
Join us next time for another episode of Mary Alice,
What Did You Do?